I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Beans, and welcome to Screen Snark, the podcast that celebrates all of the shows that are in our eyes, on our minds, and in our hearts. I am Rachel Quirky Schenk.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
I have no jokes, I'm sorry. It's too warm.
Too hot for jokes.
July and August, summertime, cannot. Jokes have hibernated.
Yes.
How are you today, Matt?
I'm fine.
Good.
Today has kind of been a whirlwind, and so I'm exhausted and sweaty, and so, you know.
I don't know if you can say it on air,
Oh,
but regardless,
I can.
congratulations.
Thank you. I can. Yeah, it's a big deal in some circles. It's just I'm trying not to get too freaked out by it, but I'm the official freelance editor for the Game Informer show, which is Game Informer's flagship podcast, and so
Amazing.
it's very exciting. I've been,
Couldn't have happened to a nicer day.
Thank you. I am very excited. I've been podcasting for ages, but to work with something that a company that I've been reading the magazine of since I was like 10 is kind of a big deal. So,
yeah, amazing. Well, I'm also excited. Just pivoting.
yeah,
Segue.
nice segue.
Thank you. I try my best to bring on yet another denizen of my wrestling world, an incredible talent, a being of fear in my heart, but also one of love. Please welcome Shotgun Adams to the show. Shotgun, welcome.
Act like you know, host.
See?
We know.
We know.
I'm both a hoe and I know. So there you go. So I can act like I know.
I'm only acting like I know. I don't actually know. It's all pretend.
I do want to take this time to congratulate you, man.
Thank you.
And it is really weird hearing Game Informer because it's like flashing me right back to my childhood, bro.
Yeah, they've been still going strong with their website, and they've been doing Twitch streams and video reviews and podcasts. And a friend of mine has worked there for many years, and so to get to collaborate with him on this podcast and to be able to edit it, it's exciting. Yeah, if you're listening to this, episode 616 is the first episode I edited, and I'll be editing it weekly till the end of time.
Until the explosion of the sun.
Until the heat death of the world.
Because podcasts will never end. They're forever.
But Chuckum, we're so excited to have you here. I'm really excited to talk to you about wrestling and how you got into it and all of that cool stuff and how many heads you bash on a weekly basis, because I'm sure there's many. But before we get to all of that, we are going to talk about the most recent things we've watched, and I, as always, will go first. And, I'm bringing another one for the Marvel machine, folks. The most recent thing I've watched, because I haven't actually had a chance to watch a lot of movies or completed TV shows in the last few weeks, is, of course, Thor: Love and Thunder, which is the newest outing for Taika Waititi and Chris Hemsworth in the Thor franchise. It is the follow-up to his movie Ragnarok, which was the first one that Taika directed, and it's fine. It's fun. I have hit a point with the Marvel movies where they don't blow my mind, with some exceptions, but I always have a good time. We are far past the days of Thor 2 and, things like that where, Thor 2, which also is not as bad as I remembered, but is not just as fun. This is, goofy and silly and bright, and, the acting's great. The story is okay, and the character development is kind of stagnant. It's these characters are the same as they were in the previous movie. In fact, I feel like I like that Thor is a bumbling goofball. I love that character trait, but I felt like in this movie he was too dumb. This guy is still the god of thunder. He should still be able to up until that third act, he's just kind of a bumbling idiot the whole way through, and that.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen prey to that sitcomification of character. Where you first start with the friends, and they're kind of weird and wacky, but they have some nuance.
Yeah.
Flanderization.
The flanderization, exactly.
Yes.
And then
I didn't think I knew about that, did ya?
Oh, I do. I had a feeling.
I didn't even have to act like I knew. I already knew you had it, Shotgun. But yeah, it's just because we're just settling more into the character. I can totally see that. I had a good time.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the bar that you're crossing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I genuinely enjoyed Multiverse of Madness more only because I'm a Sam Raimi nerd and like that movie had his stamp all over it, and so that was more interesting and exciting for me. Even though that story, the plot was arguably not even as good as Thor: Love and Thunder. But that said, like I said, I like the special effects were fine. I thought that what's his name? Christian Bale as Gore the God Butcher was actually really great. I think he did a good job. I think he was really interesting as a villain. I just feel like we're at a phase in the Marvel movies where they're just kind of happening. I feel like the TV has done better. Like for the most part, I loved all of Miss Marvel, though I feel like it could have been a long movie instead of a TV series. But like I enjoyed Moon Knight and Miss Marvel, and I'm looking forward to She-Hulk. And so like I think the TV is where, and I really enjoyed Loki. Like I think the TV is where I've been more interested lately. But I'm still enjoying the movies. You know, none of them have been so awful that I hated being there. And I'm excited for the new phase, as exhausting as it is. The fact that we're definitely getting Blade next year, and I love Mahershala Ali, and I think he's going to be an incredible Blade. You know, some of the TV shows that we're going to get next year, we're getting the sequel to Black Panther, which I'm really excited for, and Namor's finally going to be debuting in the MCU, which is a long-time favorite character of mine. It's kind of why I hate Aquaman, even though I do genuinely like the movie Aquaman, is because I always
love Aquaman.
I always
He threw a polar bear at some bad guys once.
I always liked Namor more because I just liked that character more, and I was like, this is Aquaman. He's no Namor, so that's really cool. Yeah. I don't have a lot of detail to go into. I don't know. I feel like the plot is kind of irrelevant in this one. Though the post,
What, in a Marvel movie? No.
although the post, like, I don't want to spoil it, so I'm not gonna. It's still new
don't
enough. I'm not
spoil
spoiling. But the post-credit scene was my favorite part of the whole film, genuinely because of who they revealed and who is playing him, and so like that was very exciting, and to see that character in a movie.
Yeah.
That's going to be very cool. Like I'm excited for that. But the rest of it was just kind of fine. Like I'm glad that we got the Jane Foster Mighty Thor story, and like Natalie Portman did a phenomenal job.
Agreed.
I just wish there was more to it than what we got. I'm glad that they followed that run. I'm curious if Taika does a third one, where that goes. I hope, like, I love that they let Taika off the leash, but I kind of feel like because he was a little reined in Ragnarok, that's what made it better. Like, it still had his vision, but, like, there was some guidance, whereas they kind of just let him run with it this time, from what I've heard. Again, I think it's good, and if you like Taika and you enjoy, you know, all of the kinds of things Taika makes, you'll enjoy this Thor movie, too. I don't think anything's going to touch Shang-Chi as far as most recent Marvel movies. I think that one is just kind of the pinnacle of what I want out of a badass but also relatable and goofy Marvel movie. So
That's wisdom. Shotgun, did you have a chance to see Thor: Love and Thunder?
I haven't really watched anything since Endgame. I'm not gonna hold you. Like I am horrible when it comes to like catching up to like current media.
No, honestly, you're kind of blessed. Like,
Yeah,
we're still
it's
on
a
this
lot.
Calliope again and
Like
again.
yo,
and again.
there is like it feels like a weird thing to complain about, but there's just so much content now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And I'm the kind of dude that like I grew up on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I am the last of a generation that remembers life before the internet, where you could watch anything, anytime, from anywhere. So like I'm still stuck on that cable mentality where like I want to focus on one show, and I can bust all the way through. Like, but there are like blocks where I'm just like, okay, well I'm trying to do something else now, or I get caught up with, oh maybe I'm playing a game, maybe I'm training, maybe I'm wrestling. It's all like. I don't know, like, it was my roommate that made me watch everything leading up to Phase 3
Mm-hmm.
so that I could get caught up for Endgame. And, I mean, I like them generally. Like, while I can see where the hoity-toity actors get, like, up their own ass, like, oh, it's not real movies, it's just a theme park. Like, I can see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I'm just like, we're all just making shit up and like putting it on film so motherfuckers can like pay us and they can watch it and be entertained for 2 hours. Like,
Yeah.
why are we splitting hairs about this shit?
One thing that's important to remember, but anytime someone says that these movies are like a theme park ride, theme park rides are geniusly engineered.
Yes.
Because if they're not, people die. If you want to know, if you would like to actually know, go watch any documentary about Action Park. Like, it takes artistry to make theme parks and roller coasters.
Yeah.
And more to the
amusements.
point, every story is supposed to be a roller coaster. Like, it's supposed to be like ups and downs,
Yep.
heading into a climax, and then you get to your ending or whatever. But like everybody thinks we gotta keep making fucking Citizen Kane.
Nope. Then we won't have Citizen Kane anymore, right? Like if everything is Citizen Kane, then where does the value come from?
To quote Syndrome, if everything is Citizen Kane, nothing is. I don't know why I keep thinking of Syndrome so much this
It's
week,
fine.
but I do.
But no, I was just gonna say, but no, Shotgun's right, and like we've talked about that a bunch on this show, is like feeling overwhelmed by content and the release schedule. Honestly, the reason I am able to keep up with Marvel is because it's something my spouse and I do together. But like I used to watch all the CW shows, the superhero DC stuff, and I fell off all those because I just couldn't keep up. And my spouse ended up watching a bunch of them without me too because I just didn't want to keep up. And so like I think that there is definitely too much stuff, which is why I spend more time watching YouTube in my downtime than because they're shorter. They're shorter now, like YouTube videos that are like a half hour long or more digestible. It's just one of those things, and I don't know.
Like, I know nobody can see it, but I'm
Yeah.
gesturing to the camera like, this motherfucker gets it.
Yeah. No, but I hear you, and I feel the same way. And like I play a lot of video games too, but even then, like I used to try and keep up with what's new. And I still try to, but at the end of the day, it's like, no, I gotta pick something I want to play that I enjoy, because otherwise, what the hell's the point? So yeah. So I mean, like I said, Thor, Love and Thunder. If you liked the previous Thor movie, if you liked Taika's work, you'll enjoy this. It's fun. I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as people said it was. Like, I understand from a queer perspective that it feels kind of like it's kind of fan servicey and it's not really saying anything. But also, like, there was a fun scene about two rock dudes making other rock dudes. Like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Also,
Why does everything have to say something?
Yeah.
Right. It can't.
And-
It
but
can
even-
just be.
yeah, but even then, like, at the end, the whole thing is, if you choose love, it's more powerful than choosing hatred or revenge.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just, like, one of those Saturday morning cartoon morals, but, like, that's saying something.
Yeah.
And it's like everything's got to be like deep and it's got to have like multiple layers for you motherfuckers on Twitter to like dissect and try to pretend you're smarter than you actually are. Like, I'm sorry, I don't need some fucking 9th grade dissertation on Thor, Love, and fucking Thunder. Alright? That's not why I go see Marvel movies. That's not why anybody goes see superhero movies. Not everything has to be fucking Dark Knight. I'm sorry.
Very true.
Yeah.
Wise words, well spoken.
Amazing. Well, Matt.
Yes.
If you had to sum up Thor, Love, and Thunder using just 3 words, and you cannot use Thor, or Love, or Thunder, or why would you? How would you describe this movie?
Goofy, fun action.
Goofy, fun action. I'm into it.
It just
It-
it gets to the
Kind
point.
of reminds me of a whole different genre. You know, I can't, you know, I can't put my finger on
I
it.
just
could it
wonder,
be?
what could it be?
I wonder if these superhero movies are movies for babies. Maybe, and we should maybe stop freaking out about them.
Just like the Space Wizard movies.
Yes,
Anyway,
for children.
for children.
For children.
Well, Rachel,
Yes.
now that I'm done talking about Thor, why don't you tell us about the most recent thing you have watched?
Well, before I get to that, I would like to say that I have rewatched Steven Universe and Steven Universe the movie, and am working on Steven Universe Future. So, but we've
I've
talked
talked so
at
much
length
about it.
about those.
Yeah.
So I have to go back a little bit further in my history, but not too far. Movies, you know, they don't have to have themes or meaning or, you know, subtext. So I brought one that has all of those in spades. I'm talking about Jordan Peele's Nope.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I
Okay.
watched
I haven't
it.
seen it.
Yeah, I won't. Don't worry, don't worry, kittens. I'm not spoiling anything at all. I'm just gonna say that it's the best sci-fi western that's a meditation on the current landscape of exploiting our trauma for fame, money, and internet clout.
Amazing.
That's a really specific jump.
It's the best shot.
I mean, but considering Us and Get Out, I'm not surprised that it's that
Yeah.
specific because
It's
like
definitely
Jordan's a big
along
old
that-
nerd.
that same like flavor palette
Uh-huh.
of Jordan Peele, but it's definitely like a lot slower, a lot more, a lot more sprawling. Very
Okay.
similar. That's why I call it like a kind of a sci-fi western. It's definitely influenced a lot by like westerns as a genre. These like beautiful landscapes, these wide shots. Jordan gets some of his best Spielberg shots that
Ooh.
I've ever seen. Those like shots where it's just on the person's face reacting to the thing.
Nice.
You know Jordan Peele's been watching movies and gone, I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna take that and have a little dinner table discussion before the big third act. I loved it. I thought it was super, super fun. Not as strong as Get Out, but strong in other ways. Keke Palmer and Daniel, his last name falls out of my head every time.
It'll come to you.
Yeah, they play such bickering, beautiful siblings. Their chemistry is great. Steven Yeun is such an interesting, like, side character. There's so many different ways to interpret this piece. So, like, don't let it's a sci-fi western about exploiting your trauma for clout. I mean, that's a thing in it. Like, you can definitely read it. But it's also, like, siblings on a horse trading ranch deal with an unidentified flying object. So what do? I loved it. I would watch it again and really think about like the little pieces that are there, like this sort of like B subplot that kind of like explains a lot, has nothing to do with the main plot. It's really cool. I think it's just a very inventive piece of cinema, and honestly, I keep thinking about it. And that's one of my favorite things about seeing a movie that just kind of like sits with you and you're like, oh, also there was that. Oh, also there was that. Also, it made Logan Paul mad, and I love that.
I mean,
for that
I
movie.
hate that shithead, so yeah, that works for me.
I don't honestly get, like, here's the thing. Logan Paul and Jake Paul, I understand they're dickheads. I just don't understand why everybody, like, I just don't feel like they're that important. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
No, that
totally.
truly
I'm
does.
100%. That tracks.
Yeah.
Like I'm just sitting here and be like, yo, Jake Paul's fighting this person. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I barely watch boxing. Like, why would I give a fuck that these two fucking white dudes that got famous on YouTube are doing anything?
Oh, it's because this movie, in a way, is about them and, like, how they rose to fame and sort of, like, utilizing, again, like, bringing up that idea of, like, fame, fortune, internet clout. Logan Paul very famously filmed the Suicide Forest in Japan
Yeah,
Right.
for internet clout.
like a shithead.
He exploited someone else's trauma
Yeah.
for money.
That's fair. I just personally
I
can't-
only bring him up when he's relevant, and it happens so very rarely.
Yeah, I just personally can't seem to like care one way or the other, and that's not me just like discounting what he did.
Right.
It's just one of those things where I'm just like, it's so obviously for attention that I feel like giving any of it just feels like he won somehow.
Yeah. No, I
Does that
get
make
that.
sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Well, Rachel, my question about Nope actually is
Yes.
because what I loved about I'm not genuinely a horror fan. We've talked about this. I'm a coward,
Mm-hmm.
but I loved Get Out and Us. And what I loved about them, because I'm a big Jordan Peele fan, is like the mix of horror and comedy and how the stress leads to comedy. Is that in this movie too? Is there comedy mixed with the drama? And
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
I would say that this is not necessarily a horror movie.
Okay.
It's more of a movie with horror elements.
Okay.
Again, it's very much more living in that Western sort of like. If you didn't think Jaws was super scary, you're
Okay.
gonna be fine with this.
Got
like
it.
it's definitely more about the internal lives of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
and the threat from the outside is more just a way to make commentary on their human experiences.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I had forgot it was coming out, and then last weekend my spouse and I looked at movie times and we're like, well, we're not going to be able to get into a showing last minute, and so maybe this weekend or next weekend we'll try and go. But like Jordan Peele has become one of my favorite directors. He's just like, I think he's nerdy in a similar way that I feel like I am, right? Like even though he's known for comedy all these years, and then he pivots into horror, and he's like, you motherfuckers just didn't know I liked horror. I've always liked horror, like, and here's why. And he just shows this ability to pivot and be dynamic and be different while still being funny as hell. Like when he does the interview circuit for the new movies, my favorite thing is the lead actor from Nope, Danny. You were saying his name earlier. I don't remember. Said
the internet's screaming.
He was when he was interviewing on Jimmy Fallon. He's like that the name, the where the name came from was how people of color were reacting to that film. Like they were watched like the pre-screenings and they just be like, nope, and like that's kind of where the name came from. Is just how certain people reacted to this film, and like I thought that was really fascinating and he's always kind of gone big picture with all his stuff, and so like I love that kind of intricate thinking and nerdery and like making these experiences. So
yeah,
cool. Because we don't want to spoil anything, we'll have to revisit Nope once I see it.
I'm in so much trouble trying to think of 3 words that don't give up the ghost.
But if you had to sum up Nope in just 3 words, and you couldn't use the one word Nope, what 3 words would you choose?
Meditation about entertainment.
Love that. That's on point. Well done.
Yeah, because everyone is pretty much like Hollywood adjacent. You know, like we have like former child stars. We've got like a family of Hollywood horse trainers, a cinematographer. You know, everyone is sort of like connected to. Even people who are like coming from like the Radio Shack of this world are still interested in cinema. So like everyone is within that, and it's a really good commentary about the entertainment industry and like specifically the creation of movies. It's a movie about movies.
Oh, right. My favorite. Actually, that
genuinely
is my favorite.
Does that make us the redheaded stepchild of entertainment?
Being a movie about movies?
No, I mean like
being podcasters or being wrestlers, making us redhead stepchild of entertainment.
Either or, really.
Probably,
that's
yeah.
Okay.
That sounds about right.
I think we're cool.
I do too. Speaking of cool, Shotgun Adams, it is your turn on the podium. So what is the most recent thing that you have watched?
Whenever I have the time, because like I'm always like, here's my schedule. I'm either in the gym, I'm making money, I'm wrestling, which is not always the same thing as making money.
Very, very often not. I've started to learn.
Yeah, spoiler alert. I'm either doing any of those things, and if I'm not doing any of those things, I'm trying to catch up on sleep. But I do try to watch stuff here and there when I'm not trying to like play on my Switch. It's funny you brought up YouTube earlier because I've been revisiting Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Nice. Excellent.
Which I grew up as the biggest Dragon Ball fan.
Same.
Like, to this day, it's my favorite series. I don't give a fuck.
You shouldn't. It's incredible.
Yeah. I discovered Dragon Ball Z Abridged in like 2009, right around the time they finished the Saiyan saga, and my boy Jason put me up to it, and I thought it was the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life, and it only got better with every season.
Yeah, I mean, what's great about it is that it's both like making fun of the series and also absolutely poignant about what the series is about. Like, it's both of those things. It's not just a goof. Like, it's got heart, and I love that about it.
No, I mean, like, you could tell, like, watching it, like, these aren't just a bunch of assholes just taking the obvious piss out of a series.
Right.
Like, you can take the piss out of Dragon Ball just like you can take the piss out of any shonen anime all day.
Yeah.
Like, what does it prove? You know, like Naruto is like shooting fish in a fucking bucket.
Yeah.
Like, if we're being honest.
Yeah, no, you're right.
but like these are actual fans. They can make fun of something that they love, but at the end of the day, the love is still apparent. It's still there. It's not just like them being like all smug about it, you know. And you see that a lot in wrestling. Like they're like, okay, this gets me heat when I say it. I'm not the biggest fan in the world of comedy wrestling, but I understand that it has a place in the world. My thing is like, there's a difference between comedy where everybody's laughing with what's happening and comedy where it just feels like it just comes across as you're fucking stupid for enjoying this and here's why.
Yeah.
And nobody wants that.
No.
Nobody wants to sit at something that they're trying to get entertained by and then be like then feel fucking stupid for trying to be entertained by it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I'm thinking very deeply about fans of the BBC Sherlock show, where they were just like, fuck you. You were trying to solve the mystery? Fuck you. Eat shit. And it's just like, these are the people that love you. Why are you being cruel to them?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting here like, yo, get therapy. Touch grass. Do something. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
I hate people that try to ruin entertainment for others because they never resolve their own issues.
Yes.
Like, okay, so I'm not a fan of comedy wrestling. It does not mean that I want Orange Cassidy to burn to death. I don't want Kenny Omega to get fucking run over. I like, it's not my bag.
Yeah.
I have friends that do comedy wrestling for fuck's
You're
sake.
sitting next to a person who's like, how funny can I make wrestling?
Like, I'm not here to be, I'm not here to sit here and be all elitist about it. Like, because at the end of the day, like, if I wanted to be an actual tough guy, I have done MMA.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm not, but I'm just saying, like if toughness and seriousness is so important to you in pro wrestling, God bless you. But also, like, if you're taking it to a point where you got to treat everything like you should, just go do MMA.
Yeah.
Go fight.
Yeah.
Like, well, there are certain guys that I'm sorry, I'm just kind of going off on this.
No, please.
No, please.
do.
I feel like it needs to be said. There are certain guys who take this so much to the titty that, you know, every shot that they land has to, like, concuss somebody or else it's not real, brother. I'm just like, of course it's not fucking real.
Yeah, no.
It hasn't been fucking treated as real since the 1920s. You fucking dickheads.
Hi, it's just circus and sideshow, but the circus of violence.
But, you know, God forbid anybody points that out, and then you got fucking old people that were, like, whining about back in my day. No, fuck you.
Yeah.
I like serious wrestling. Don't get it twisted for even a second. And I do serious wrestling. That does not mean I'm going to discount everybody else.
Yeah.
Because not everybody can do it.
Yeah.
And not everybody came for, like, super serious the whole way through. Imagine... Okay. If you don't have a certain break in between all the seriousness, you just tend to burn out the audience.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some people that disagree with that, but I'm just like, you got to have a little levity.
Mm-hmm.
Something. It doesn't have to be... What's a real... It doesn't have to be like a dick spot or anything.
Yeah.
But you got to give the audience time to, like, breathe, or else you're just burning them out, and now nothing means as much anymore.
Yeah, it's to take it back to sort of our similar discussion earlier about amusement park rides and theme parks. Like, they can't all be dead drops on the roller coaster. You have to have a couple bunny hills to, like, let people catch their breath. Get reacquainted before you hit more G's. Like, you can't just be like, it's all 0 G's all the time, because, like, people can't handle that much intensity. And I think that's kind of the idea of, like, changing the script, or as we like to say here, like, there's no such thing as good art or bad art. There's art that works for you, and there's art that doesn't work for you.
Yeah. Well, and like, I'm glad you bring this up, Shotgun, in tandem with DBZ Abridged, because that, like, at the surface, like we said, that's a show where you just think they're taking the piss, but they're not. You know that they have a love for it. And I feel like, just like you're saying about wrestling, like the people who are doing comedy wrestling or serious wrestling and are changing it up are showing why they love this thing. And it's their way of showing that they love it. And, like, as someone who's been watching DBC since I'm a kid, and will say till the day I die that Piccolo is the best anime father alive, come for me. Like, I think that show really made me love Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z even more because of how it read the room and, like, was like, this is what this show boils down to, and now we're going to distill it and you're still going to love it, you know?
So this is just a distillation of the entire, like, long anime of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I've never watched a Dragon Ball.
So-
I have a lot of support for people who watch Dragon Ball, though.
So the original Dragon Ball Z anime, I think it gets to like 200 episodes by the end of the Cell saga.
I
Wow.
think so. That sounds right.
That I'm supposed to be a super fan, but like
I can't remember.
I've gotten like half a dozen concussions in my life. Fucking sue me. But it was 200 episodes before they finished up the Cell saga. Abridged got to 63.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, personally, like, if you're wanting to watch Dragon Ball Z and you don't want to sit through, like, the 100 episodes of filler, I'm sorry for all the people that prefer Z. I like Z in Japanese.
Yeah.
The original Z dub sucked. Let's just I'm just saying what it is. Like, come on, bro. Like, if you're gonna watch it, if you want like a distilled version of it, I would recommend Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed.
Especially because the English dub is so much better.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
It's so much better.
Yeah.
Sean Schemmel is Goku.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Chris Sabat does his best work as Vegeta and Piccolo.
Mm-hmm.
And God rest his soul, Chris Ayres
Yeah.
was the perfect Frieza.
He was
Yeah.
incredible.
If anybody thought that Shotgun isn't a super fan before, that was amazing. You knew all the actors. Got it. Nailed it. Fuck you. Don't be mean to Shotgun. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
Chris Ayres, like, is the perfect Frieza. Just like Ryusei Nakao was the perfect Frieza.
Yeah.
And if y'all think that I don't know my shit, please test me. Y'all can follow me on Twitter at Shotgun Adams. Y'all can fucking tag me.
Yeah.
I will sun you.
Um,
Don't get it twisted. Hood niggas watch anime too.
anyone can watch anime. And
Yeah, no,
and any kind of anime.
Yeah,
100%.
there's- Yeah, anime's for everyone, just like wrestling is
No,
for
it's
everyone.
no, but you gotta understand, like, especially when it comes to being from the hood. Like, back in the '90s, we used to steal cable.
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry. No, but we had these little black boxes, and we would watch. We would get all the channels.
Yeah.
Which is also how I got free wrestling pay-per-views until like 2005.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Like, cause I'm not paying fucking $40 when I'm 11 years old.
Yeah, but please. On this podcast, we say those guys at the top have stolen more than we could ever steal back. Like, the bosses, the landowners, the capitalists, they've taken it all. Reclaim it, baby. It's not theft. It's
I know they stole my
reclamation.
money for Taboo Tuesday 2005.
Bam.
There you go.
Fuckers.
Fuckers.
Fuckers. Well, Shotgun, before we move on to the interview portion, I do have to ask.
Oh, we've got to do... Oh, are you doing this?
Yes.
Sorry. Perfect.
I got it. Been doing this a while. Just saying. If you had to sum up DBZ Abridged in just 3 words without using Dragon Ball or Z or Abridged, what 3 words would you use to describe this series?
Labor of love.
Love that. Perfect.
I
Rolled
love
right
that.
off the tongue.
Ooh,
Perfect.
that was art. Ooh, I loved it.
Impressive.
Oh.
No, because I will never stop gushing about them. Shout out to Team 4 Star.
Yeah.
They shaped a lot of my adolescence.
for better or worse, right?
There's nothing worse about it. Like,
Hell yeah. Well, Shotgun, I'm so glad that you're on the show. I want to talk a little bit about, like, because we're all wrestling fans here. I've come and gone as far as watching, but I've always been a fan of it, even when I don't watch. I'm curious where your love of wrestling started. It sounds like you started pretty young. Like, do you remember the first match you ever saw? Do you remember the early days of, like, you watching wrestling?
yeah, actually. So, I grew up in the 90s because I was born in 93. So, like, by the time I was conscious enough to remember anything, the Attitude Era was happening.
Yep.
So it's like wrestling was everywhere. Like, if you were in middle school, I mean, if you were in any kind of public school at the time,
Yep.
a couple of things happened to you. Either they, like, flipped you off, which, I mean, it's Brooklyn, so it happens anyway.
Sure.
But they would also, you know, point to their crotches and tell you to suck it, even though their balls haven't dropped yet. But they would also ask you what your name was, and then when you try to answer, they immediately told you it didn't matter what your name was. I used to get caught with that a couple of times.
Oh, yeah. Same. I'd be like, oh, me? Me? Yeah.
But yeah, like there, like you couldn't escape anybody talking about The Rock, or Steve Austin, or Triple H,
Yep.
or Mick Foley, or The Undertaker, and all these guys. Like, and I was a casual fan at best. My brother was a big fan of the Attitude Era. Like, he would have SmackDown and Raw on every week. I would like half pay attention to it, and I would also play the games. Like,
Yep.
No Mercy is one of my favorite games. Like,
Classic.
even though a couple of motherfuckers have overhyped it, and y'all know who y'all are.
Get him.
Like, stop overhyping this game. It's been 20 fucking years. Alright? But, no, we played No Mercy, we played WrestleMania 2000. Later on, I got my hands on WCW NWO Revenge,
Yep.
Warzone. I would say that the first time I ever stopped and actually enjoyed wrestling was in 2004, where I was. This was like a year or two after my mom and dad like divorced. So my pops at the time was like living with this older lady, and she had a son. And her son was like a huge wrestling geek. Like, he had the fucking WWE belt on the on his wall and all that. He had a couple of the games, but he had Judgment Day 2004 on, and I watched it, you know, because I was still playing the games or whatever. But then what caught my eye was Eddie Guerrero versus JBL for the WWE title.
Yeah.
If you saw that match, first of all, that shit was a bloodbath.
Yep.
Holy shit. By the end of that whole shit, like, the canvas was like red.
Yep. Yeah, it was wild.
But what was crazy about it was, like, my perception of wrestlers was colored by whatever Vince McMahon was pushing at the time, which was
Yeah.
usually like roided up giants.
Yep.
And Eddie Guerrero did his fair share of steroids.
Yeah.
It happens. But he was also like no taller than my father.
Yeah.
Like, he was this dude who was like 5'6", 5'7", who I would have, you know, been taller and by the time I was like 16. But he's got the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, and something about that like caught me, cause my father was a cabaret singer, or it still is actually.
Awesome.
He was like this this singing prodigy.
Wow.
Like, was the youngest person to win the National Singing Festival in his home country. Like, he was 18 when it happened. Like, everybody thought he was destined for big things. He came to this country as part of, and I'm not making a word of this shit up, a Spanish boy band,
Amazing. Fuck
Amazing.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
or what would qualify for a boy band in the 70s.
Right.
So there was that, and then he started touring with a lot of big names in the scene at the time, not unlike what I would do like years later. But then so I think I got my love of performing from him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a baby picture somewhere of like me with a t-shirt and a diaper holding a microphone.
Hell yeah.
I mean, people really thought that I would become following his footsteps and become a singer, and then puberty happened. I can carry a tune, but that's about all you're gonna get from me. I'm not hitting no fucking Freddie Mercury high notes. I'm sorry.
I mean, most people are not hitting Freddie Mercury notes, that's for sure.
Yeah. As the person biologically closest to be able to do that, it's very hard.
I can carry a tune. That's about it. But, you know, it was by the time I was 10, I was sick of everybody trying to like push me towards his footsteps anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But like this was something that like caught my imagination, and all of a sudden I'm watching SmackDown every week. And that's actually how I started watching Raw, because I thought it was going to be a continuation of SmackDown. How wrong I was.
Yeah.
But I also got to see a lot of who would become my idols. And this time I can say for better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know if I can even say this, but I was a huge fan of Chris Benoit.
I mean, we all were. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong with saying that. Like, he was one of the best wrestlers of that time. He put on a show while just being angry in the ring, and like being like, he didn't even have, like, he had a gimmick, but for the most part he was just a tactician. He was just talented. And so I don't think there's anything wrong in saying you're a fan.
The thing that caught me about Benoit wasn't just that he was a great technical wrestler. It was that everything he did was felt with the intent to like hurt people.
Yeah.
Now in hindsight, that seems a little fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, I dug his intensity.
Mm-hmm.
And there were other guys too. Like I was a fan of Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Edge, Chris Jericho, fucking. I mean, the list kind of went on. But I was always more of a SmackDown guy because Eddie Guerrero was on that show, and Eddie Guerrero was by that point my all-time favorite wrestler, and it still is. He still is my favorite wrestler. Like he is the reason I decided to become a pro wrestler in the fucking first place.
Sure. I mean, he was... What was interesting about Eddie Guerrero, especially if you followed him from WCW to the WWE, is like he it seems like, I don't know him that well, but like it seems like he just did what he wanted to do. He was determined to be the best at what he did, and he didn't seem to compromise that much. And like think about Jericho and how when he went to the WWE, his character was completely different. He was still cocky, but like they gave him this whole different thing. Whereas like I feel like Eddie Guerrero was just this high-flying, intense, badass wrestler, and always was. There's something about also the way he did the frog splash. Like it felt like magic every time he jumped off the top rope, and I couldn't even tell you why, but it just always felt that way.
It's because it is, for my money, the cleanest frog splash in the history of the business.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody could even take offense to that, because everybody was like he took it from Art Barr, and honestly, the less I could say about Art Barr, the better.
Fair.
But Eddie's frog splash was, I mean, everybody does moonsaults and phoenix splashes, and that's great. Like I'm not taking away from any of those things. Like I can't do a fucking shooting star press. Not without breaking my fucking neck. The most you'll see me do is the fucking cactus elbow.
What is the cactus elbow?
A diving elbow from the apron to the outside.
Yeah.
Ah.
Although I have been known to do it from the second rope to the outside.
Cool.
Because I don't give a flying fuck about my health.
As some of
If
the
I
greatest...
did, I would not be wrestling professionally. I'm sorry.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, you're right. I think also there's something to be said about wrestlers who, like, just captivated you, right? I think about, like, even the early days of, like, Edge and Christian and the Hardy Boys and, like, the Dudley Boys, and, like, how they just captivated you. They didn't even have to be the best technical wrestlers because it's showmanship as much as it is athleticism. And that's always what's fascinated me about wrestling is the showmanship and like how people can just get out there and do that in front of crowds. It's always been impressive to me.
To sort of be the opposite coin of Shotgun here in terms of comedy wrestling. It's what I particularly love about comedy wrestling is this like understanding of like a level of charisma and timing that just like take this like physical activity to like another level for me, and it's in that ability to like grab people, and I'm easily grabbed by what's funny.
Right.
You know, and like so that's how that works for me. But yeah, it's like it's kind of this like certain like level of like I don't know what this like sparkle that comes from like the greats where you're just like that person just walks in, they fucking own the space, and you're just like I cannot help but like be drawn to you.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Like, there have been a couple of times where I've worked our mutual friend, Delightful Dan, the goddamn Candyman.
Delightful Dan, the goddamn Candyman, the legend.
And
The legend.
It
One day
is.
we'll be on the show.
sometimes it does get hard not to like corpse in the middle of the fucking ring whenever he does some shit. Because it's just like he's a fucking genius.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, of
Yeah.
course.
He's a fucking asshole, but he's a fucking genius.
Yeah, every time he yells Twix of Fate, I lose my shit.
No, when this nigga hits me with the fucking Pez dispenser, I'm just like,
So good. It's so good.
I mean, there was a fucking over at Technique Training, T2T, whatever we're calling it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there was this like promo class, for lack of a better term, which I personally like love because nobody actually taught me how to cut a promo. I just kind of learned how to do it on my own. So like, it's kind of cool that everybody can like workshop this so that you know. You don't have to fail like I did in public. You know, like you don't have
Fair.
to cut your teeth like that. You get to like workshop that shit before you go out and embarrass yourself. But like there was like a promo face off, for lack of a better term, between him and our other mutual friend Katie Vella. And she I don't remember how it went, but Katie said something. It was like, "I'm gonna wrestle you now or later," and then Dan hit him. Rob, whatever you want to call him, he was like, "This isn't about now or later. This is about now and later." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
"Fuck you,
It's
So good.
brilliant fuck."
it's that improv background.
Yeah.
It'll do wonders for you. No joke.
Like that ass, like.
Yeah. I'm curious, Shotgun, like for me growing up, especially in the Attitude Era, there were moments that like redefined what wrestling was for me. There are tragedies, of course, which are hard to forget, and then also just show moments. So something you should know about me, I think Rachel knows, my favorite wrestler of all time is The Undertaker. Yes, even the motorcycle version. I don't care. He was a showman from start to finish. He is one of the best, and he's a legend for a reason. But like his cage match, his Hell in the Cell with Mick Foley is something I will always be burned in my brain, because there was at that time literally nothing like it. When he throws him off the top of that cage, and we're all like, "That's it, goodbye, Mick Foley." Like it's over. Like, do you have any like moments from the Attitude Era or after when you really started getting into it that really stand out? Like a memorable moment with Eddie Guerrero, for example, like something that really stands out is like this moment is a moment that is like iconic to wrestling.
I mean, there could have been where Eddie won the belt
Yeah,
at No Way Out 2004.
sure.
I thought that. I mean, there's the WrestleMania 20 ending, which we can never actually show again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of his most underrated moments was where he was wrestling a cage match with Bradshaw, like after he dropped the belt to him, and he hit a frog splash from the top of the cage, and I thought that was the coolest shit I'd ever seen.
Hell yeah.
Wow.
I mean, later on, everybody was trying to top it. Swanton,
Yeah.
Shooting Stars, you know, all that. But like for my money, Eddie Guerrero was everything I ever wanted in a pro wrestler. Everything I ever wanted to be in a pro wrestler. Like obviously, I'm not anywhere near his level of talent. I don't know if anybody can be, if we're being honest.
Sure.
And maybe I'm just fanboying, but like.
No, I mean, but you're right. I mean, people are legends for a reason, right? Like Michael Jordan, regardless of what he does now, is a legend in pro basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because of the things they did and like the people who look up to them.
I'm still trying to master that frog splash.
Sure.
Like
course.
like I could get away with just like the usual indie frog splash that everybody does, but like no, I want to hit the fucking Eddie Guerrero frog splash.
Yeah.
That's what I want to fucking hit.
Yeah. It's not about
Because
the height
that's
on the jump. It's the height on the impact too, right? It's everything. It's the art.
No, it's the motion.
Yeah.
It's everything.
It's-
I'm
yeah.
so fucking anal when it comes to that. Like I don't. No, because some people do the whole thing where they like curl up
Yeah.
and
And then come
And,
back
like,
out.
and then come out like a splash.
Yeah.
But Eddie would always kind of
Always kept the
clasp
hands
his
in.
hands and then just motherfucker.
Oh,
Sorry.
It's all good.
For those of y'all that don't know what happened, my headphone fell out. I don't know if y'all can edit that shit, but like, no, but like Eddie would keep his hands clasped.
well, now
those
it has to stay in.
Well,
Now I can't take it out.
no.
For those who are still listening, the headphone jack fell out.
Again,
comedy.
Trying to do this
happens in
So it's
threes.
this shit.
I'm helping now. I'm joining in.
So now he's just like pulling in, coming up, but his hands are clasped,
Yeah.
and right at the point of impact, boom, his hands are slapping the mat,
Yeah.
and it's just, it's so much harder than it sounds.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to get that air.
Yeah. For sure.
Jesus, timing is everything in wrestling. I'm so bad
Yeah, I
at
have
timing.
no idea.
Oh God, it's just like it's the hardest part. Like falling, easy. Falling and being able to time everything correctly, like getting that slap, fucking hard.
If there's one thing I did learn is like even when you think you mastered it, you never really master it. If we're being honest, because anything could fucking happen in there.
Yeah.
I always said that wrestling and stripping are basically the same thing.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
Rachel's been saying that for years.
Think about that
Right,
all of the fucking time.
right down to the fucking long-term joint pain.
Yep. The need for knee pads? Yes.
Like
Floor training? Yes.
one of my closest friends that I haven't seen in years since before the plague was, I mean, or maybe still is, a stripper.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know, I saw the damage it was doing, and I'm just like, man, wrestling and stripping is basically the same thing. We all come up with these fake names.
Yeah.
We all wear like tight leather or spandex or whatever the fuck. Maybe we'll put some baby oil or glitter if that's your bag. And then we go out and entertain people, even when we don't want to. Even if we hate everybody in the room, but we got to make money somehow.
Yeah.
The only difference is, well, actually, no, there's no difference. I was going to say there might be like slightly less chance of sexual misconduct in wrestling, but
No, I don't know that that's
No.
true at this
no,
point.
no, I think it's pretty much no.
Powerful men gonna be powerful men. In
No,
places.
I mean, because I've seen things happen at strip bars. I've seen
Yeah.
Guys who think they're slick was trying to. I don't know how graphic we can make this.
We don't have to make it that graphic, but I
Yeah.
think we pick up what
We
you're putting
know.
down.
Yeah, trust.
There are guys that really think they're slick,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna hold you. I would have been in jail like long before now if the security guards didn't get to them first.
Yeah.
Is all
Good.
I'm saying.
Legit. No, yeah.
For sure.
But I think you bring up really good points. I think the comparative nature of it, especially of just being an artist or an entertainer in New York, especially. a lot of that runs the same. The gigging, the hard work, the knowledge, the schooling, all of that stuff, you know?
It's exactly like being an independent musician.
Yep.
Yeah. Or a ballet dancer, even.
Yep.
Who was it at class yesterday? I think it was Nate who said, "Wrestling, it's just fight ballet," and it's not wrong.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting to see like all of these different physical disciplines that have different goals. Like, obviously, stripping is to titillate. You know, ballet is to entertain and like tell a story with a body. Wrestling is the same, but like someone wins and someone loses.
It's kind of hilarious when everyone's like, well, it's not ballet. I'm like, is it? Are you sure about that, bro?
Yeah. The only
You sure
difference
about
is
that?
you get to keep your feet straight in wrestling, and you don't in ballet because you have to turn your feet out. Whew.
Yeah, that denying that it's ballet is coming from a masculine place to not be feminine, and that shit just sucks and is dumb.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I think like that's what we were just talking about, right, Shotgun? The choreography, like Eddie Guerrero was just as much about strength and power as he was choreography. The way he
Yeah.
moved around the ring was like dancing. I mean, he danced in the ring plenty, but like, there's something about the movement and the flow.
There's beauty in it.
Yeah.
It's all about footwork.
Yeah.
And that's the main key to everything. That's why guys like Eddie Guerrero like practically like floated in the ring.
Yeah.
And you got to remember, this is he grew up in the Guerrero family.
Yeah.
They lived wrestling.
Yep.
That's not a fucking hyperbole.
No, not at all.
When you're doing it since you were like 3, like, yeah, eventually you get good at it.
Yeah, for sure.
We can only hope.
Right? Well, I mean, Shotgun, this was great. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank
taking
you,
the time for
Shotgun.
chatting with us.
Thanks for sitting with me in my tiny sweaty room and
Was this
making
This
a
is
I
it.
think
podcast.
I thought it flew by. Like,
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. But I would love, before we wrap up, for you to tell folks where they can find you online, where they can check
Yeah.
out. This will be out this coming Monday. So if you've got shows coming up in August that you want to point people towards, like, please just tell folks where they can find you. Cut a promo,
Yeah.
if you will.
Oh.
All right, so boom. Okay.
Oh wait, don't do it that way.
All right. I can do what the fuck I want.
Oh,
God damn it.
Please don't. That makes very
No,
expensive. It's all falling apart. Get in there. Get
y'all
in
can
there.
fucking follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Shotgun Adams. The same goddamn handle. It's one name. It's exactly how it's spelled.
How many D's? 1 or 2?
Just one.
1 D.
Just
That's all
one
you
D.
need. 1 D.
I just did it now. It's that
I mean,
simple.
some people
You
don't.
took my bit,
I
Matthew.
did take
Some-
it.
How dare.
Some people need no D's. I mean, like that's
true. Look.
that's their bag.
I could take or leave a D, frankly. But
Yeah.
I'm panned, so what are you gonna do?
I mean, but also, as it pertains to shows, I got a couple of coming up. On August 6th, I will be at Bay State Championship Wrestling in Massachusetts. Y'all can, hear more updates on that on Instagram and Twitter. And more to the point, the following week, I'm going to be in New Kensington, Pennsylvania for IWW and Wrestlers Lab presents Scientific Tendencies. And I'm going one-on-one with the Hitman for Hire, Mr. Grimm.
Unbelievable.
And
Unbelievable.
and if y'all ever going to catch me live, if y'all ever going to peep that shit whenever it shows up on IWTV, any match of mine, I guarantee you, watch this fucking match. Come to the show if you can. Sponsored. There are a lot of people on there that will happily accept your money. I promise you. I will also accept your money if we're being real. And
Shotgun does have a tipping option on Twitter, so you
goddamn right.
You can do that
Yeah.
if you want.
And you can also buy my shirts on Threadless at
right.
shotgunadams.threadless.com. I got a whole bunch of options for y'all. Like a whole bunch of y'all want tank tops, y'all want onesies for your kids. I'm not judging. Come
Yeah.
through.
Put your baby in a Shotgun Adams onesie, you cowards.
Yo, I got a dead ass t-shirt. Make that a onesie.
There you go.
There you go.
Who wouldn't want that?
Amazing.
If y'all like, that's all from my New York heads, but I do want to really put a fine point on this Scientific Tendencies match if I haven't already, because I'm coming for that ass, man. And I'm coming to prove a fucking point. You better act like you know, ho.
Genius.
Amazing.
Well, on that note, we should probably thank people
Yes.
and get the hell out of here. First, I would like to thank John Presnell for the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game, featuring Stefan Rimble. Thank you for our music. It's so, what an entrance we get every episode.
And Exit as well. And thank
And
you
Exit.
to the incredible Katie Bug who designed our incredible show art. Thank you so much. You rule. Also, a special thank you to Case Aiken who designs the episode art for us.
No, never. eat a pile of tiny dirt pebbles, Case,
Yeah, okay.
for your poor punctuation. and hypnotizing my cat and probably stealing all my XLR cables.
Bro, you're just going to blame him for that, too.
Yes, stole them. Yeah, so if this episode sounds wonky, it's Case's fault.
Rachel, why don't you thank our network, too?
Yes, thank you so much to the Certain Point of View Podcast Network for continuing to let us be a part of it, especially since Case is kind of the boss of the Certain Point of View Podcast Network. If he could just fire me at any time.
I mean,
frankly.
not really.
I know,
He
my
doesn't have
number's
any
up.
real
Like,
power.
I get it. Yeah.
He has no real power.
You can hang out
None
with
of
us.
us have power.
It's
That's
true.
true.
You can hang out with us over on our Discord server.
Yes.
You can find that at certainpov.com.
You can also find a bunch of really cool shows. You can also rate and review this podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, pretty much wherever you get podcasts that have ratings. You could rate us. Stitcher.
I don't know if you can rate on Stitcher.
I don't know
but
if you can either. But please,
Podbean.
rate and review us. It helps us grow this audience, which we love to do. Also, you can write us an email at screensnarkpod@gmail.com, or you can follow us on Twitter at screen_snark. Now, before we go,
Yes.
Rachel has to ask our guest the final question.
One question. One more for Shotgun. Shotgun Adams. This is the question that we ask all of our guests at the end of the episode. If you could choose any one trope that is featured in movies or television to instantly and magically be true in your life, which trope would you choose?
Kind of wish I had the TV tropes page in front of me.
It's okay. We stump everyone with this one. That's why we don't tell you at the start.
No, it's cool.
It's, it's our little cutoff.
Kind of a tie between 11th Hour Superpower
Ooh, good.
and The Power of Hate.
Right. I love that. Those are both great and original unsaid answers.
Never had those. We've had 103 episodes now?
I can't do math. I'm gay. What do I know about math?
Yeah, it's fine. We're over 100, and that was
Yes.
the first time 11th Power Superpower came out.
Yeah, that was excellent.
Amazing.
Well, thank you again, Shotgun. This was great.
Yeah, thank you, Shotgun.
I hope everyone goes to check you out. Go follow Shotgun. Go do all that shit. He rules, and his wrestling rules. And also thank you to my incredible, vivacious, comedy genius co-host, the incredible Rachel Quirky Shank.
Oh, and thank you to my meditation about entertainment co-host, Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon.
And I would like to shout out you both. Thank y'all for having me here.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And also, I would like to give a shout out to my man Kemba for providing me with my music Deadass
Hell yeah.
off his album Gilda. Go get that on Apple Music, Spotify, any of your fine retailers. That album is dope.
Do it. Hell yeah.
I listen to it. And if I say shit is popping, shit is popping. Alright?
Yeah.
So go cop that. Bitch.
And of course, thank you to all of our incredible listeners.
Thank you.
We love that you show up for every episode. Thank you for being here. We will see you at the movies or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Aurora, 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 Aurora. Metal to magnet, she will be mine. Aurora.
Can you believe we've been friends for 7 years? And it all started because I compared you to Alana the Lioness.
Tamara Pierce really set the tone of our friendship.
A love of magic,
Briar Moss,
fantasy,
Briar Moss,
powerful women, and of course,
Briar Moss. I'm Anna.
And I'm MJ.
And we invite you to join our Circle of Friendship,
where we do a chapter-by-chapter deep dive into the Circle of Magic series by Tamara Pierce.
We answer important questions like, how does Moonstream let certain dedicates take care of children?
Can you imagine anyone else but Mandy Patinkin playing Nico?
Knives, Briar?
And
knives?
Join us every other Monday at cofpodcast.libsyn.com or wherever you download podcasts.
But seriously, knives?
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.